Welcome everyone to Vinyl Addict. This is Chili, and today I'm going to do a video on a mono album, a mono pressing, and this is Pink Floyd's A Saucerful of Secrets. This is a Record Store Day release in 2019, and haven't done anything on mono, and what I could say is, first of all, that we're kind of used to the whole stereo sound. It's sort of like the standard, and to get something like this that they repressed with from the classic album, remastered from the original mono mix. This is also remastered by Bernie Grudman and James Guthrie, and it's originally released in 1968. Now, I guess they stopped making mono pressings like in the 70s, and so this being them redoing it, I don't know, as part of nostalgic reasons, I don't know, but I mean, there's been a lot of reissues of mono mixes and whatnot. And so my take on it is it is a different, of course, another way of listening to it, a listening experience. And this is one of my favorite albums from them, and all I've listened to this album has always been in a stereo format. Now, Pink Floyd, I mean, they always just, every time they reissue something, it seems like every time they reissue something and remaster something, it just seems to sound better and better, and it's just like the top tier of when they get behind a reissue. It just sounds phenomenal. And so to get this one, what I could say is, because from the stereo panning of the left and right and everything, that is, of course, is missing. This is all coming out of one signal, and it's just coming out from both speakers equally. And I thought it wouldn't work at first, listening to, being a Floyd fan, and some of the things that, I'm used to hearing when you're listening to Pink Floyd. Like, I know with, of course, The Dark Side of the Moon, when you hear those clocks going off and it's panning left and right and all over the place, it's good, that works. It's just like, well, okay. Now this one, it really does sound like you're in the music. I mean, I could still hear the separation of instruments really clearly and the dynamics of them, but at the same time, I'm just sort of just like in the experience, in the music, per se, if that makes any sense. Especially when you hear the title track, which is a 12-minute instrumental piece, and it's it's beyond, as far as the senses are concerned. It's just that you're just pretty much in the music. That's all I could say. Is I feel like I was just surrounded by it, and it seems like when you do hear panning from left and right, where certain bells and whistles are going off in one side to the other, it's weird because it wasn't doing that. It wasn't like I was being distracted by it, because sometimes when you hear something like, oh, I could hear something coming out of this on this end, it kind of takes you away from what else is going on. But since this is all coming in at once, it's really overwhelming, and it's a different experience, and it's really cool. And I think this was the best album. I mean, I guess because they were doing mono releases back in '68, just totally makes sense. And so other songs on here, I just want to give you a little history of what this album is, and people who've never heard it. This is the first one with all 5 members on the same album. So with Syd Barrett and David Gilmour coming in. There's 7 songs on here. The opening one, Let There Be More Light, is a great track. It starts off with a Roger Waters bass line. And it's the first one to have David Gilmour's lead work near the end of the song. Now, the manager of Syd Barrett was claiming it was Syd Barrett who was doing the lead, but I look at it this way. David Gilmour was brought in because Syd Barrett was pretty much, out to lunch. He was having some mental issues, and so that's why they brought in David Gilmour. So I don't really think that really holds any weight that was Syd playing the guitar. Syd just pretty much is not really in this album. Pretty much he is in the Set the Controls for the Heart of the Sun with all the members. That's the only song where all 5 members are in. It's a really good song. Corporal Clegg is a great song. It's sort of it's a upbeat rock song, but it has some interesting sounds in there, sort of just like what the Beatles were doing with Good Morning, or just like all these kinds of weird things going on at the same time. And Seesaw was a really good one. That's on the second side, and with the mono sound, strings really sound good. I guess classical music or whatever, classical strings, it really sounds good in a mono format. So there's that song. And another thing is the drummer and the keyboardist. This is probably the only album where they sing a lot. They take on lead vocals. And so this is a really great album. My memory of it the most was watching live at Pompeii, because they do a couple of songs on here as well on that film, where they're just playing to no audience outside. And I remember watching that film, and this is a different Pink Floyd, of course. I always see like this band went through different kind of incarnations. With the first album, that was just pretty much one chapter, and that was like a Syd Barrett thing. He did most of the vocals and was very instrumental in that album. And by the time the second one came out, this one, he's not really a major presence in the band, and David Gilmour's coming in. And so then that's another chapter in this band. And it was very brief, but it was really, this is a really cool album, and it works in this mono format. So if you're ever considering getting this record, I tried getting it if you can. This is the 2019 release on Record Store Day of Pink Floyd Saucerful of Secrets. If you could get this one and just compare for yourself. I've heard both, and I like both equally for different reasons. And I was, like I said, I was very taken aback and very surprised how this sounds in the mono format. And so I'll have a few other albums that I'll share in a mono format, and we'll go through it together. And one thing I like about the Pink Floyd reissues, that they always have like these big hype stickers. Just like that's one thing I like about the Pink Floyd reissues too. So that's what I have to say. Comment below, please like and share, and please subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you guys in the next video, and you guys have a good day. Take care.